Hey guys, Carl Allen. We are on day one of the 10 days to your very, very first deal.
Dealmakers, what's up?
My vision is to completely and utterly disrupt the market for buying and selling small businesses all over the world. So yesterday I walked you through the kind of agenda, and as promised, day one is all about mindset. So mindset's really, really important when you're doing anything in life, but it's super, super important when you are looking to buy a business. So there's three things that we're going to talk about before anything else. The first one is we're going to talk about beliefs. Then I'm going to walk you through a little model called the success cycle. And then we're going to finish with an awesome kind of goal setting tool that I learned from one of my mentors, Tony Robbins, and it's called RPM, which stands for Results Focused, Purpose-Driven, Massive Action Plan. That tool really dials in to your why, and I've got a really awesome story about how I was able to quit smoking about 10 years ago because of a very, very powerful why, and how you can do the same for buying businesses. So the first thing to talk about is beliefs. So beliefs are one of the things that are programmed into our brains and drive us day to day. So if we think about our brain as our operating system of how we function, so our identity, our values, and our beliefs are what really kind of make the difference up in that 2 inches of real estate that we have. It's called our brain, our 2 million year old brain. And a lot of the times with our beliefs can either empower us to do things or they can stop us from doing things. And those are called limiting beliefs. So for example, I'm going to teach you in these 10 days how to buy a business without using any of your own money. So you've got no money out of pocket when you buy a business. Now, if you've never done it before, you might have a limiting belief that says, well, hey, that's not true. I don't believe that you can buy a business without any money. Or I'm going to learn this stuff from Carl over the next 10 days. Then I don't believe that I'm going to be able to find the time to go away and do that. And there's loads and loads of tools I can share with you about time audits and how you can get a lot of your time back to do the things that are really, really important. But if you believe something to be true, then your brain doesn't know the difference between imagination, which is where your beliefs are, and fact. It's kind of like a gray area. So if you believe something strong enough, your brain actually thinks that you've already done it, and then your subconscious mind goes to work on attracting all of the resources and all the things that you need to actually achieve those goals. If you don't believe that you can do something, if you have a limiting belief, you say, you know what, I can't do that, then your subconscious brain is like a filter, and it will kind of push away all of the resources and all the things that you're going to need to be able to do that. And what sums up beliefs for me more than anything else is what I call the bitch voice. So what is the bitch voice? We all have a bitch voice. The bitch voice is that little voice inside of your head that tells you that you can't do things. And your bitch voice is why you are exactly where you are in the world today, around your finances, around your family, around your business if you own one, around your health and your well-being. All of those different things are because of your bitch voice. And we all have bitch voices. I had a bitch voice on Saturday morning. So it's Monday now. Saturday morning, I'd had a kind of a heavy night out with friends and family on Friday night, probably had a little bit too much wine. And I woke up at 6 a.m. and I normally go to the gym at that time on a Saturday morning. And my little bitch voice said, yeah, you know what? You worked out 4 times last week. You know, you're getting in much better shape. It's raining outside. You don't need to go. And I literally turned off my phone, put it back on the nightstand, and I went back to sleep. So that was my bitch voice controlling my intention to go and do something, right? So we all do it, and I'm no different. But you've got to get rid of that bitch voice. You've got to replace limiting beliefs with what I call empowering truths. So a limiting belief that you might have, which is, hey, there's no way I can go and buy businesses using other people's money. An empowering truth would be, there's trillions of dollars of capital in the markets today, and there's millions of business owners who will let me take their business on like I would lease a car. I don't need my own capital to do those deals. I can either find it from a bank or an investor, or I can structure a deal where the seller will take the money over time. So having limiting beliefs is bad. Having empowering truths and getting rid of the bitch voice and replacing it with a boss voice is really, really important. Now, once you've got your belief systems dialed in, what's next is to understand something called the success cycle, okay? So the success cycle starts with your beliefs. So once you've got powerful beliefs and there's no bitch voice there, there's just a boss voice, what that does is that puts you into a positive state. So you're excited, you're ready to crush this, like nothing's going to stand in your way. And then when you're in a really positive state, what then happens is you take action, you execute, you get things done. Education is nothing without execution. You've got to get the things done. Imagine you were going to the gym, right? And you wanted to build muscle. You have to go to the gym 3, 4, 5 times a week, do your sets, do your reps, and then put the proper fuel into your body. If you consistently do that, if you consistently execute, then it's biologically impossible for you not to build muscle. In the business buying world, the more deals you originate, the more sellers you meet, the more offers you make. If you're consistently taking action and doing those 3 things, and you'll learn all about those 3 things over the next 10 days, you take action, what are you going to get? You're going to get results. And then when you get results, what those results do is then reinforce your beliefs. So your beliefs go up. You think, wow, I had this belief, I got into a positive state, I took massive action, I've now got 5 deals on the table, I've had 3 seller meetings, I've just made an offer, it's really, really close, I've got lenders potentially going to back me on the deal, or I talk to the seller and he'll let me buy the business over a 10-year period with no money at the closing table. Wow, this is really happening, I can do this. So your belief goes up. What then happens is then you get into an even more positive energetic state. You get even more excited, then you take even more action, and then you get even better results. So you go in this constant upward cycle. The converse is you go into this and think, you know what? I don't think I can do this. I don't think this is going to work. I can't see anybody lending me any money. I don't even know what type of business to buy. I'm going to cover that tomorrow, the buy box. You know, I don't think I've got time for this. You know, maybe I'll just buy real estate or buy some crypto or do an MLM or get into Forex trading or whatever. You know, I just don't believe I'm going to do that. You go into this like not really kind of in that right belief. The bitch voice is controlling your decisions. You're not going to be in a positive state. You're going to be in a negative state. Then you're in a negative state. What then happens is you don't take the right level of action. You take a little bit of action. Yeah, I'll try it. Yeah, I'll send out a few letters. Yeah, I'll send a few emails. I'll call my CPA, see if there's any deals that he knows about. And then you get really bad results. And then when you get really bad results, that reinforces that negative belief that you've had. So then your belief actually goes down. And then you get into a worse state. Then you take even less action. Then you get even worse results. So you spiral down. You can either go up or you can go down. So that is the success cycle, my friends. I'm just going to wipe this off because now I want to walk you through something called RPM, which is a really awesome tool I learned from Tony Robbins. These whiteboard wipes are absolutely amazing. They're like the things you use with diapers. I got a granddaughter, and before I bought those from Amazon, I was actually using my granddaughter's wipes from her diapers to actually clean my board. But anyway, so we're all good. So RPM. So RPM stands for results focused, purpose driven, massive action plan. So it all starts with the result. So you can't just say, hey, you know what, what's my outcome? What's my result? What's the binary goal that I'm looking to achieve? And you can't start off just by saying, I want to buy a business, right? You've got to turn that into a SMART goal. What's a SMART goal? It's specific, it's measurable. It's easy to measure if you buy a business or not. You either buy it or you don't. But it's specific, it's measurable, it's actionable, it's realistic, and it's time bound. So specific, get really, really specific. And tomorrow when we talk about the buy box, you'll know exactly what sectors that you want to target. You know exactly what size of businesses you're going to want to target. And you'll know exactly whether you want to be an owner investor working on the business, doesn't matter where it is, versus being an owner manager working in the business. But you might say, hey, I want to buy an IT services company within 50 miles of Chicago, between $1 and $3 million in revenues with 10% minimum profit margins. And I want to close on that deal and be generating cash flow for myself by the 31st of March, 2023. So you get really, really specific, your sector, location, size, and time. You got to time bound it, right? Number 2, measurable. Well, it's easy. You're either going to buy the business or you're not. You get to the 31st of March, you've either bought that business and it's cash flowing for you, or you don't. So you'll know, you can measure it. A is actionable. Is it actionable? Yes, it is. We'll get to that through the P and the M, the sorts of things that you need to do to be able to further your pursuit of that goal. R is realistic. Is it realistic for you to go and buy a business as part of that specification? Absolutely it is. If you said, hey, I want to buy $1 billion company, and I'm not going to put any of my own money in, and I want to buy that business by lunchtime tomorrow, then that's not a realistic goal. Like another example of an unrealistic goal would be, like, I'm absolutely terrible at golf. I can't get round the course in under 100 because I just never have time to play and I never have time to practice. I'm terrible at golf. But if I said to you, I want to win the Masters tournament in Augusta next time it's played, that's a completely unrealistic goal. It's physically impossible for me to do that because I've never really played the game. So being realistic is super, super important. And then time bound, which we've already talked about. So a goal is just a dream unless you've got a specific time that you're committed 100% to achieving it by that date. So having a very, very specific result that you want to achieve is the first step of the RPM process. The second is P, and it's purpose. And really, it all comes down to your why. Okay? He who has his why can endure almost any how. What does that mean? So your why is critical. Now, I'm going to tell you something now, and you're going to think I'm crazy, right? But nobody wants to buy a business. Nobody wants to own a business. If you think about the dimensionalized benefits, what are they for being a business owner, right? It's like we don't buy airline tickets just to fly on an airplane. That's the feature. The benefit of buying an airline ticket, the why that we buy an airline ticket is that we can go on vacation, or we can go to a business event, or we can go and see family, or we can go and see friends, or we can do whatever we want to do. It's the destination, not the journey, that's really, really important. When it comes to buying businesses, you've got to ask the question, why do I want to own a business? Is it cash flow? Is it wealth generation? Is it work-life balance? Is it pride? Is it ego? Is it assurance? Is it insurance? Doesn't matter what it is. As human beings, what allows us to make decisions are those things in our subconscious mind. It's the emotions. It's the quality of those emotions that make us take action. So it's really, really important that you define your why. Now, I used to be a very, very heavy smoker. Obviously, I was a Wall Street guy, spent a lot of time working in Russia, chain smoked. I was up to 60 cigarettes a day, Marlboro Reds as well, pretty strong cigarettes. And I just couldn't stop smoking. My wife was trying to get me to stop because obviously I smelled disgusting and I was really unhealthy and I was coughing all the time. I would wake up in the middle of the night and I would go outside for a cigarette. It was absolutely awful. And one day I was pacing around my garden at home and I was on a conference call trying to close a deal. This is about 10 years ago. And I went through a whole pack of 20 cigarettes in that 1 hour. And I walked in and I must have absolutely been so stinky and horrible with cigarettes. My wife said to me, you've got a massive problem. Like, you need to quit smoking. But I didn't have a powerful enough why. I couldn't, for the life of me, imagine a life where I wasn't smoking. So we had a bit of a fight and I went to my study And I open the window and I'm literally smoking out the window. I was smoking all the time. And my little boy, Josh, came in, and he was 5 at the time. He's 15 now. And he walked into my office. He said, "Daddy." I'm like, "Josh, my man, what's the matter?" He said, "I don't want you to die." I said, "What are you talking about? Dad's not going to die." I was like 42 at the time. I was not in great shape and I was chain smoking, but I didn't think I was going to die. I said, "Dad's not going to die." He said, "Well, mum says you're going to die because she's smoking all those horrible cigarettes and it's going to kill you, and you're not going to be able to take me to soccer games, and you're not going to see me go to college, and you're not going to see me get married, and you're not going to see me live my life, and I don't want that." Do you think I ever had a cigarette ever again? No. I literally threw the cigarette out the window, and I never, ever, ever put a cigarette in my mouth ever since, because now I had a really powerful why. And what went through my brain while my son was really upset is like, well, if I die, somebody else is going to be living in my house, and they're going to be taking care of my son, and they're going to be doing all these things with him. Somebody else is going to be going on date nights with my wife and taking my son to soccer games because I'm dead because I was stupidly smoking. So that for me was a massively, massively powerful why to allow me to stop smoking. So you've got to really kind of get raw with yourself and really get that leverage over yourself and figure out, why do I want to own a business? What are the benefits to me of owning a business? You might hate your job. You might be sick and tired of working for other people. You might have started a business and failed and lost a lot of money, and you want to get that back. You want to be the guy that walks into the bar with your buddies and say, "You know what? I'm not an employee anymore. I'm now the employer. I'm the commander-in-chief. I'm the daddy. I'm the guy." It's that pride, right? It's that ego. Those are the things that drive us. It might not just be about wealth creation. It might not just be about cash flow. It might be about some of those other things. So you've got to really kind of go on that journey and think, well, why is it? Like, what would have to be true for me in my life? What am I going to get as the owner of 1 or 5 or however many businesses you're going to buy? So dialing in your why is really, really important. And then the third thing that you need, and you're in the perfect place for this, is you need a massive action plan. Okay? So the R is the what, the P is the why, and the M is the how. So, okay, you figured out, I want to buy a business, IT services company within 20 miles of Chicago, $1 to $3 million in revenues, and I want to close that deal by the 31st of March, 2023. Why? Well, I'm sick of working for other people. I want to generate $300,000-$400,000 a year in cash flow. I want to grow that business and make $5 million, and then I want to buy real estate with that and give to my church and buy my parents a new home and buy a great car and do all of those fantastic things. And I want to be able to tell my buddies that I've made it. They all own businesses, I don't. I'm in the club now. And all of those feelings and all of those emotions combined are going to give me that massively powerful why to absolutely crush this and get to the end result. And then my massive action plan is, well, what do I need to do next? I've got the beliefs. I'm going to take action. I'm in a positive state. I want to get those results. Well, this is what we're going to cover over the next 10 days. It's all about, once your mindset's dialed in, figuring out your buy box. That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. And then we're going to get into deal origination. Okay, we're going to go and find deals from brokers and wealth managers and other deal intermediaries and social media and direct approaches. We're going to teach you all that. And then we're going to go and have meetings. We're going to teach you all that. Then I'm going to show you what the 7 to 10 key financial data points are that you need to look at so you can make an offer and value and structure a deal. Then we'll get into deal origination and all those different things. That's the massive action plan. The massive action plan, the how, is what we're going to cover over the rest of these 10 days. So I hope you found that useful. That's mindset as a deal maker. And what's really interesting about this is, watch this video again. You can apply that framework to absolutely anything that you want to do in life. If you're in a broken relationship, if you want to get healthy and fit, if you want to stop smoking, want to stop drinking, you want to stop any habit and start a new powerful thing in your life, apply that RPM framework. Results focused, purpose driven, massive action plan, the what, the why, and the how. Hope you enjoyed that, guys, and I will see you tomorrow for day 2, where we're going to get into your buy box. And don't forget, if you want a lot more training, if you want to really go to town and have a really massive action plan, check out the link below. You can go into my 10-day business buying challenge, where I go into this in a lot more detail, and I give you all of the tools and cheat sheets and blueprints and everything that you need to execute this properly. So I will see you tomorrow. Until then, bye for now.